I think we need one more member to make a quorum. Troy's coming on.
Hello, this is Troy.
Hey, Troy, you will be chairing today.
Got it. Let me see if I can.
Can you hear me?
Hey, Jamie.
Hey there. Is my audio working?
Yes.
Is mine?
Yes, sir.
Are we ready, Jessica?
Hi, this is Dustin and David with you. Can you hear us?
Hey, Dustin, I can hear you.
Excellent, thank you.
Troy, I can hear you too. I'm sorry.
Okay. All right, I'll go ahead and call the meeting to order. This is the August 25th, 2021 Conway Community Appearance Board meeting. It is now 4 p.m. And first item of business is the approval of the minutes from the July 28th and August 5th meetings. Do I have a motion for, do I have to do this separately?
So moved.
No, you can do it together.
Okay,
So moved.
Second.
thank you, Duck. Seconded by Jamie, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? No nays, motion's carried. Moving on to certificate of appropriateness. First item is 1112 Main Street.
The applicant is requesting approval to install various signs on the property and building at 1112 Main Street for Main Street Express and Marathon Fuel. What you had in your packet, I'm going through, here's the slide that shows the sign package that was submitted with the packet. There were some issues with the proposed signage. The existing sign that's there is a pole sign. We don't allow pole signs. They proposed to replace that pole sign with another pole sign, which we cannot allow them to do per the UDO. As well as the gas canopy signage. The channel letters, there's nothing wrong with the channel letters except that they're illuminated and they can't be illuminated internally and backlit. So you can see kind of on your screen what it would look like at night. And then the sign panel that was actually going to go on the building, Main Street Express, did not have any dimension. They've revised their request slightly. So this is the revised gas canopy signage. They're just going to do vinyl letters on the gas canopy. And instead of having 3 on 3 different sides, they're only going to have it on 2 sides. The gas canopy itself for individual gas pumps, those are just subordinate signage, very common. They're not even required to actually obtain a permit for that type of signage. The Main Street Express wall sign, as you can see there is a current sign panel there, and they're just proposing to replace that. And they have added 1/4-inch mounted letters on that panel to add that dimension. Finally, this is their monument sign that they've now proposed. However, while it is now compliant with the height, because 8 foot is actually the height limit in neighborhood commercial, they still have digital letters. And I've never reviewed a gas station in a community appearance board district, but there is a section in the sign lighting methods that prohibits animated or electronic signs, programmable light emitting diode signs, or readout or digital screen video. I've checked the other gas stations that are within a historic design review district, and they do not have electronic gas pricing. That is allowed in neighborhood commercial. If it were outside of historic design review district, there's no issue there. It's just that this is in a historic design review district. And outside of the sign lighting recommendations, there's nothing that says that they can actually do that in a historic design review district. And also the design of the monument, it's an aluminum panel. And one of the things that the ordinance requires is that monument signs, they have to be consistent with the exterior color and materials of the buildings on the property. If they have a base that's greater than 18 inches in height, which this one does, it has to incorporate the same materials and colors of the principal structure. Then that would require landscaping as well. So those are really staff's issues with the monument sign that's now proposed. And I don't know that there's actually any dimension. They're basically showing an illuminated internally cabinet sign, but it does meet the size requirements of the UDO, where originally it did not. And the applicant, Dustin Bledsoe, he is actually on the call if he wanted to say anything, or if y'all had any questions, I'll be happy to answer them.
Yeah, one of the biggest concerns, and we can obviously change out the LEDs to the standard gas price response. One of the biggest sales is that it's for the safety of the person going out and changing the gas prices themselves. Number one, typically at these kinds of stations, it's just going to be one person in the store and they have to go out and manually change these, plus the safety issue of it being so close to the road. However, if that's not allowed, it is not a problem to go back to these standard fonts. As far as the height goes, we can change that. In this area, it may be best to go down to an 18-inch base, and we can do that out of brick to match the building. That also is not a problem. But we wanted to just present this to you to get your thoughts.
Yeah, now the sign base, if it's because it's greater than 18 inches in height. So if it's less than 18 inches in height, then you have a little bit more flexibility as far as the design. It can match the sign panel itself, but the sign panel can't be a cabinet sign that's internally illuminated. If it were outside of a historic design review district, your options would be a little bit different. And they also did, because they are removing the existing sign that's actually in the right of way, and they're going to be moving it back to meet a 5-foot setback from the property lines. So that'll be a lot better for issue for us as well, is to get the sign out of the right of way. This is the existing site here.
Jessica, as I understand it, if he wants to go with the digital letters, he'd have to go for a variance, would he not?
Well, it would not be a variance because the digital letters are allowed in that zoning district. The issue is that the guidelines specify that LED is not appropriate, an appropriate method to light a sign. So that's the issue, is the guidelines. But as far as the wall sign that's proposed, they've revised that to add dimensions. There's no issue with the size. It's compliant with the Unified Development Ordinance because it'll actually be installed above the glass on the building. So it will be on the building itself. And there's no issue now with, as far as the Unified Development Ordinance goes, the gas canopy signage. They've revised that to just be vinyl.
So really, there's not a whole lot of contention other than just the monument sign.
Correct.
Could they, is it possible for them to leave the existing monument sign? Or do they want to change it to short? You said 18 inches, but you said, I think you meant under 18 feet, correct?
No, the freestanding post sign that requirements that we have are a little bit different, but in this zoning district, it's 8 feet height, but I'm talking about the base of the sign. 8 feet is the overall height limit of the sign, from the bottom to the very top. So that's your maximum height limit. But when it comes to monument signs themselves, the Unified Development Ordinance has design standards in addition to the height standards that specifies certain requirements if the base of the monument sign is over 18 inches in height.
Okay, gotcha.
And in this case, this monument base is 4 foot 4 inches.
And we're happy to decrease that. The biggest concern is, when somebody's at the end of the street at the corner, the visibility. So maybe bringing it down would make more sense.
And Jamie, to answer your question about the existing sign, we do allow like minor changes to legal non-conforming signs. They cannot increase the level of non-conformity. So if they wanted to go in there and change the sign panel, they could do that, but they'd have to meet the current requirements for illumination. It would still have to comply with the Historic Design Review District guidelines. And of course, they could not increase the level of nonconformity. So that would be the restriction. But the fact that they are choosing to replace the entire structure is good, because in doing so, they're bringing it out of the right of way as well.
Which all of that would make it a legal, it would be conforming then, correct? A legal conforming sign?
As long as it complied with all of the requirements of the UDO, then yes, it would make the new sign structure legal conforming. But what's there now is legal non-conforming.
Gotcha. I understand.
Because of the LED lights.
The freestanding sign that you see on the corner of 12th Avenue and Main Street is legal non-conforming because it exceeds the height limit that's allowed. It's an internally illuminated cabinet, and it's in the right of way.
Okay, I've got that. I'm sorry. I was talking about the new one. The LED lights are the biggest.
The issue with the new one is it doesn't have dimension that I'm aware of, Dustin. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah,
Um,
it's just a pan form face.
and they've got the the LED gas pricing signage.
Jessica, is the new sign, site sign, is it in the same place in the right of way?
No. Mm-mm.
Okay.
Mm-mm. This is where, do you see where it says proposed ID sign location?
I
They're
do.
actually moving, they're gonna remove the current structure. And they want to put this one where they show that little yellow line.
Thank you. So they can have an internally illuminated cabinet sign, correct?
They can have, you can do certain types of illumination. Y'all have approved, Anderson Brothers Bank is a good example. They actually had, it wasn't a cabinet sign. It was, they had the letters stenciled out. So it had that dimension, and only the letters of the bank actually shine through. But it's not a cabinet sign where the whole thing is, illuminated. I don't know if this one would qualify as something like that. It looks like it's just one type of cabinet, but the illumination at night, only the letters shine through, but they're not cut out, kind of like the one at Anderson Brothers Bank is.
So
It's just a flat panel.
if they gave dimension to the Marathon logo and then put hard copy letter or numbers, changeable copy on the gas prices, would that then comply?
Yes. Yeah, it is if it's not illuminated the way that it is. Yes.
Okay, can we change out the gas prices for the standard fonted panels? Only the numerals would illuminate, only the words regular and diesel would illuminate. And then the Marathon as it's shown, but they can do what they call pan formed with embossed copy. That makes it stick out around an inch in depth, but only it would illuminate, just the logo.
I'm looking, sorry. This is a new one for us, so.
Hey, Jessica,
Yes, ma'am.
a question about the base of that sign. If it's over 18 inches, we would have to say it's made of like brick, for example, to coordinate with the other surroundings, right?
Yes,
So
and when I
that 4
say
by
that it's
4?
compliant, I mean that it's compliant with the UDO, and I'm talking specifically about the sign face, but yes, Jacqueline's correct. The base the base itself, the issue there is that it's above 18 inches, so it would need to comply with having the same types of materials that are consistent with the principal structure on the property. So that is still an issue, but I think the applicant stated that he would be willing to reduce that to be under 18
Yes.
inches as well. Dustin, if you can show me or send me something to show me what you're thinking of doing. I mean, there is a way to do it, but I think that it'd be better for staff to take a look at it first and make sure that that there's not going to be any illumination restrictions. I want to see what you're talking about.
Okay. Yeah,
And the CAB can consider the other types of signs, and then we can bring this one back at the next meeting if they would be willing to do that.
okay, we have zero problems with that.
In that case, I make a motion to accept the redesigned signs except for the pylon sign as shown.
Is there a second?
I second.
Jamie, thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
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 All opposed? Okay, motion carries. Thank you, Dustin.
Absolutely. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
All right, next item is 329 and 331 Laurel Street.
All right, so the
Wait,
applicant,
one moment.
Yep.
Mr. Chairman, I have to recuse myself from this item.
Thank you.
the applicant is proposing to reconstruct the building at 329, 331 Laurel Street as shown in this rendering. The property previously received preliminary approval of a special tax assessment, and since that time, a lot of the building has been demolished. So included in the reconstruction is to add stucco over existing sidewalls, a custom wood entry door that'll be centered, custom windows, composite panels with applied moldings, a composite cornice, Nova brick veneer, Nova brick bullnose cap, aluminum coping, and the paint sample that was provided with this submittal. And Brantley, one question I had is the color of the structure. You had a paint sample in here, but I wasn't sure if that's what you meant to be the actual color that would be on the building.
Yes, ma'am, it would be. Everything that's green would be that paint color. The problem is if you do that paint color with the windows there, it just looks like one giant window.
I'll be happy to answer any questions that you guys have, or Brantley is also here to answer questions as well.
So this is the same thing that we reviewed before, but it's just up for final approval, correct?
Well, no, actually, this is, you haven't actually reviewed this. It's been on the agenda a couple of times, I believe, and you guys have seen it before. I think it got conceptual review. But this is him. He's trying to basically get final approval of the work that he's proposing to do so he can move forward with that. He probably will, the special tax assessment, that's not ready for any final approvals right now. This is just approval of the work that is proposed for that property.
And Jessica, the picture on the lower left, remind me what view that is?
Brantley, help me out. I can't remember. I'm sorry.
With the two little windows? What is that?
If I may cut in, that's the picture of the old gas station that should be attached to the right of the long image up top. In other words, if you move that picture to where the paint chip is, that's really meant to be one long image.
Okay, so that like wraps around the corner.
Okay.
Oh, Brantley, you're muted.
I think he added something there, but Brantley, you were
Sorry.
muted. There you go.
That was the his and hers bathroom that's on Joe Burrows's car lot. I mean, on Palmetto Chevrolet's
Meadow.
used car lot.
Okay. So this would be to the right of his building.
That's correct.
Towards the gas station, right?
Yeah, well,
That is
I think it
the-
looks great. I think I just would like the motion to approve as presented. I think we heard a lot of more details on the previous time we heard from you, Brantley, so I'm confident we can move forward. So I make a motion to approve.
Any further discussion or a second?
I second.
I've got a question on the side wall. What was that?
So Doug, I think they were saying that this is what the side view would be.
No, I mean on the wall itself, on the right wall of the building, not the gas station.
I think he's talking about the long wall picture, Jessica, the one that just shows like the elevation of the back or side wall.
By the way, you can see those two doors and the window in that previous slide in a photo.
There you go. I'm sorry.
Yeah, so it's just solid.
Mhm. Yes, sir.
So it's gonna stay the same.
Yes, sir.
I second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? No one left. All right, motion carries.
Thank y'all.
Thanks, Brantley.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All day.
I think that's all the items, correct, Jessica?
Yes, sir.
All right. Next item would be public input. Is there any, I don't think that we have any public on any longer. And followed by board input. No board input, staff input.
I just have one thing. A couple of meetings ago, I don't remember if it was the last meeting, we were talking about decisions of the Community Appearance Board. And I think I said that they could be overturned by council, and I meant they could be overturned by circuit court. So I just wanted to clarify that. I don't know why I said that, but decisions of the Community Appearance Board can be overturned or appealed to the circuit court. So I just wanted to make sure that you guys were aware of that. But listening to the minutes, I realized I said that, so I apologize.
Thank you for the clarification. And then you got the upcoming meeting for council.
Yes, on September 7th is the next council meeting.
Okay, I don't have any questions there. Does anyone else have any questions?
Nope.
All
Nope.
right, well, with that, I will, is there a motion to adjourn?
I make a motion, we adjourn.
Thank you, Jeremy. Second,
I second.
all in favor?
Aye.
All right, motion carries. We'll adjourn at 4:24.
All right, thanks, guys.